I'm kind of feeling like Ellen DeGeneres on
Yeah,
this couch.
yeah, exactly. I'm feeling like Oprah Winfrey here.
Oprah, interesting choice. Oprah. I'm just hoping that Tom Cruise then doesn't come rolling in and jump on this nice red couch of
Yeah,
ours.
exactly. That would be a travesty, I'd say.
Be a way to start.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome to the most recent edition of our video update. We're going to be covering today the most recent statistics from the Sanofi Health Survey, which ultimately gives you an understanding as to what's happening in the benefit landscape at a macro level. There's also been some updates to OHIP Plus, and finally, there's also been some updates to the legalization, I should say, use of recreational cannabis, which is going to be coming into effect this fall. So without further ado, I pass it along to my partner in crime, Chris, to do a deeper dive on the Sanofi Health Survey.
Yes, absolutely. So just a quick reminder, Sanofi is a global drug manufacturer, and actually this year we had the honor, the privilege of being invited by Sanofi to participate in their think tank. And essentially what we did there is we actually got a sneak peek of a lot of the data from the survey, and then as a collective we had really good dialogue in terms of statistics that really jumped out at us. And certainly one of the big things was really the disconnect between what employers thought and what is actually happening with regards to the prevalence of chronic illness in their companies. So specifically, plan sponsors, they thought that, there's only about 29% of our employees that have a chronic illness.
Right.
When in fact, it's actually 58% of the people that actually have a chronic illness, right? So that disconnect is definitely something that we need to really kind of ponder and think about, right?
It's a big discrepancy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the other big one was actually the correlation. Again, this is not surprising at all, but it's really the correlation between a person who's kind of suffering from personal or financial difficulties compared to their productivity. So again, it's not a surprise here, because if you have somebody kind of sitting at their desk and they're thinking about, oh man, how am I going to pay my mortgage payment? They may be sitting there, but quite frankly, they're not thinking about the work that they're doing.
Oh,
Right?
for sure.
Yeah.
Less engaged, therefore less, productive. and
Exactly.
There's definitely hidden costs associated with that.
Exactly.
So on that note, we're actually in the midst of working with my old man, I like to call him.
Oh boy.
Harry James. Ultimately, he's been a financial planner for 30 plus years. So we're coming up with some content that we can provide you that you could distribute to your plan members to help in that particular area. So yeah, looking forward to that. So stay
Absolutely.
tuned. It's going to be coming this fall.
Absolutely.
So the next thing we want to address is the change to OHIP Plus. As many of you are aware, OHIP Plus came into effect here in Ontario January 1, 2018. Essentially what that meant is anyone 24 and under would have their prescription medications covered through the Ontario government. The Ontario government is now no longer going to be first payer for anyone 24 and under if there's a private plan in place. So we don't have any details regarding timelines yet. That's still very much up in the air and being discussed, but we'll keep our antenna up, and the minute we know, we'll be sure to keep you informed. So yeah, that's the update there.
That happened really quickly, eh?
I know.
It's over like
Short-lived.
exactly 6-7 months. We're already changing that.
I know.
Anyway, so our last topic, what we're going to be talking about, is the legalization of recreational cannabis. So as some of you may remember, in our last winter edition of our newsletter, we were talking about the importance of having a drug and alcohol policy in place. And again, I just want to remind you that it is very important that you do that because of the upcoming legalization. And specifically, just to kind of put a little bit more details in terms of what Justin was talking about, the effective date of legalization will be October 17th, 2018. And again, it's one of those things where, quite frankly, if you don't have a drug and alcohol policy in place, that's totally fine. Please engage us, and we can definitely help with that. But at the end of the day, we certainly advise you to engage an employment lawyer, because they're ultimately the specialists in drafting something like that.
We're going to give you guidance.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyways, just want to wrap up by once again, obviously, thanking you for the vote of confidence you have in our firm. Just want to also remind you that there's a lot more details regarding everything that Chris and I covered in the embedded links below. So yeah, just thank you very much. We consider it an absolute privilege to be servicing you, and we will continue very hard to maintain your trust.